welcome to another one of our special programs here at the Senior Community Center in Baldwinville. This afternoon we have representatives from the Montechusett Home Care. And if I'm going to get Susan in the center, Susan Dempsey, Kara,
yes,
Philbin, cool, all these great last names, and Liza Updike.
Right.
I did pretty good.
Yeah.
At least I didn't say Manelli. And Susan, Kara, and Eliza are going to be talking to us about new programs offered to keep seniors in their home as comfortably as possible, as long as possible. And they're going to be speaking specifically about adult family care, caregiver support, and money management. So we welcome you and we welcome them.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, one thing we have to do, besides thank you for welcoming us to your beautiful new building.
Yeah.
We were fortunately able to figure out that must be it. I bet you got a sign coming one of these days. But no, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. So one of the things that we have to do for our agency is kind of go over all the programs just generally to give you a brief touch, and then we'll get into detail about our own. So I admit I need the notes for this, but when I'm talking about adult family care, I promise I don't need so many notes. Okay. I think I've said all that. Montechusett exists to help elders and people with disabilities. Our overriding mission is to keep people home safely. That is our overriding mission. We are what's called an Aging Services Access Point, known as ASAP. And we serve 21 communities in this area. This is about our western border, Templeton and Winchendon, and we go all the way to east to Air, Groton, and Pepperell, the New Hampshire border across the top, and as far south as like Clinton and Berlin. So we're private, nonprofit, and we employ social service case managers and nurses. And again, we have these programs to help folks remain independent. We are a member of the Central Mass Aging and Disabilities Resource Consortium called ADRC. And this group is committed to ensuring that consumers with questions or who are in need of services receive the appropriate information no matter who they call. In other words, there's no such thing as a wrong number. You'll always get the help you need. Some of the services that we provide from Montechusett Home Care are information and referral. I've done this in the past, and I want to say we can't do everything for everybody, but our information and referral department can point you in the right direction. They can get you to where you need to be. Options counseling. That person works with folks to solve problems. It assists individuals or families to find out what their options are, including housing, services, and benefits. Care transition coaches. I don't know if anybody's been in the hospital lately, but when you're in the hospital, this person can visit you, and the individual works to help people not be hospitalized again for the same condition. So a lot of education. It includes home visits, and visits while in the hospital. Case management. That's how most of the folks at Montechusett get started. They're the ones who organize the services. Montechusett themselves, we don't hire the homemakers, but if someone has a case manager, they're the ones who arrange for that homemaker to come out to help with bathing or dressing or housework, laundry, and shopping. Case managers work in various departments. I started out as a case manager, a long time ago, and became a case manager in the adult family care program as well. In-home services, I think I already referenced them. We can do personal care, homemaking, provide home-delivered meals, and shore services. These services can be part of different programs such as state home care, SCO, which is senior care options, or one care plans. That is for folks who are actually 21 to 64. Caregiver support. You're going to hear a lot more about that from from Kara, so I'm going to defer on that. We also work in housing. There are 4 congregate housing sites that Montechusett is part of. What that is folks have their own bedroom and their own at least private half bath, but live in a common area so that they have a common kitchen and living room and dining room. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. You're not living alone, but you still have your privacy. Okay, let's see. We also have supportive housing and resident service coordination. In other words, a person doesn't have to be an actual consumer of Montechusett Home Care to access a resident service coordinator. They can help anybody who lives in the building. Protective services. That is for folks 60 and over who might be being financially exploited or emotionally abused, physically abused. Montechusett has many specialists who can help in situations like that. Nurse screening, the other thing that Montechusett does is for folks who have Mass Health, if they're going to go into a nursing home, they need to be screened, and they provide that. They also do the screenings for adult day health. Again, if someone has Mass Health, the state requires that you're clinically eligible, and our nurses take care of that. We have volunteer programs, one of which is money management, and Liza will talk much more about that. There's also medical appointment escorts and companionship services, volunteers, and nursing home ombudsman. Every single facility in our area, in those 21 cities and towns, either rest homes or nursing homes, has a person that any resident can go to work out any issues they might be having with their stay in a nursing home. Adult family care, I'll get back to that later. Personal care attendant program, that's another program for folks who have Mass Health, where if you need help with personal care, like bathing, dressing, walking, that you can hire your own worker to help you. You hire them yourself, and you train them, and they can help you. It works out for many, many people. It's probably one of our fastest growing programs. Group adult foster care is another program where you need to live in housing, and if someone needs daily personal care, the person will come in to do the personal care and can also do like some housework and laundry and shopping as well. Support groups, Liza will talk, Kara will talk more about that. And we also have a widowhood support group. Actually, Pete Sylvia has been running that for well over 20 years. And it's open to anyone, any senior who's been widowed. And I've known people who've attended and never anything but positive feedback about Pete and the group. So I just wanted to make you aware of that. Okay, just a few more to cover. I already covered it. Supportive housing. Supportive housing is when you live in a housing center, like there's someone on call all the time if something goes wrong to help you. They don't provide overnight services, but if something goes wrong in the middle of the night, there's someone there to call. And, Mass Assistive Technology and Home Modification Loan Application Site. These can be very valuable. Say someone needs a van because they have mobility issues, they can't go in a regular car. There's actually loans available at no or low interest that can help a person purchase that. It also allows for a home to be modified, like if you need a ramp, people can apply, and like I said, it's either low or no interest. So people don't go without what they need to be able to stay in their homes. Money management covered. Okay, I think I get to go to what we're really here for. You better strike that. I probably shouldn't have said that. All right. All right. I guess I'll start with adult family care. I have been happily working in that department for over 18 years. What adult family care is it can either be people who know each other or people who don't. We started initially with only unrelated people. We have caregivers who have always been caregivers. Actually, most of our hosts were moms. I mean, that's a wonderful background to be an adult family care caregiver. And they really miss the caregiving, and they actually take folks into their home. The main thing to know for adult family care is the person, the consumer, the one who needs help, needs to be a Mass Health recipient, and they need to have a medical diagnosis and a need for daily personal care. And it can be as simple as cueing and supervision. We have many folks who actually aren't elders in adult family care. We can start as young as 16. So it's not a program just for elders. We have a lot of folks who have developmental disabilities. They may be physically capable, but they just need cueing and supervision during a task to make sure they do it properly. The physician must say it's okay to be on the program. They need to be compliant with the care plan. What we actually do is with the folks who know them, with their doctor, we develop a care plan, and the goal for the care plan is that I could pick it up, you could pick it up, and know how to care for that person. So we really want to make sure that they are properly cared for. In our program, it's not a regulation, but in our program, every consumer has their own bedroom, which to me, that level of privacy, like in nursing homes or rest homes, usually you're sharing a room. So the idea that you have your own space and your own room, I think, is so important, and yet you're part of the family. We actually match people up. We ask the host a lot of questions about what their interests are, what they like to do. We ask the consumer about theirs, and then we try to match people up. Sometimes it's physical limitations that have us introduce people. In other words, if I've got a consumer who needs a first floor bedroom and I've got a wonderful host who only has a second floor bedroom, I admit we kind of don't go there because it's not going to work. But we put much effort into making sure that these folks can live together for a long time, and I'm very proud and happy to say really at least 90 to 95% of our unrelated placements last a long time because we really put effort into that. The other thing that's important to know is folks can already know each other. Back in 2007, which is such a long time ago now, but it was new once upon a time. It was new while I was a case manager there. We can actually pay parents as long as the consumer is at least 18. We can pay children, we can pay siblings. I'm afraid we can't pay spouses. But if you're in that situation or aware of anyone in that situation, if the person needing help requires help with personal care every day and has mass health, the person they already live with can be paid to take care of them. Just something to really to keep in mind. There's 2 levels in adult family care. The easiest, the simplest, is that supervision and cueing during the task. And if a person requires much more care, like hands-on with 3 different areas, like the areas would be bathing. If someone needs physical assistance with the bathing, or physical assistance to get dressed, or physical assistance to walk up and down stairs within the home, or toileting, then the person's another level and the reimbursement for the caregiver is higher. Because the folks have mass health, they can also still go to adult day health. As a matter of fact, for unrelated folks, we really encourage that because I don't care how much the caregiver and the consumer like each other, having some space and leaving the 4 walls we feel is very beneficial to everyone concerned. So that's kind of what I do for a living in a nutshell. Very happy to, if anyone has any questions. All right, after we're done, we'll stay a while. If anyone wants to ask individual questions, we'd be happy to do that. We do have materials up front, which we strongly encourage. Help yourself. We have enough for everybody. All right, so who's next?
I'll go next.
All right, Kara.
I have my whole client base that I take care of. And I do that on Mondays and Wednesdays. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I work in the caregiver support program. One thing that we do is we have a support group that runs every month. It's always the 3rd Thursday of every month. It's this week, actually, the 18th, and it's from 10 to 11:30, which is the normal time we always have it. We have a small group of caregivers that come to Montechusett. We meet upstairs in a conference room, and we have snacks and water and coffee, and we sit around and everyone essentially talks about their individual situation that they're going through with the person that they're taking care of. We have a variety of different scenarios going on with different people. They're all different. They all have their similarities, but they're all very different and unique. It's a wonderful group of people. They're very friendly, very accepting, always welcoming new people into the group. So it's kind of an opportunity for them to come and vent. We usually have handouts and information that's helpful to them. If they have questions about where to go or who they might ask for different types of information, I can get that for them. Primarily, I would say it's an opportunity for them to get out of the house, be with other people in a similar situation, and feel that they're not so alone in their situation with the elder they're taking care of. Generally, it's usually a spouse they're taking care of, but not always. I had a person who was taking care of her aunt who was living in her home. She was about 104 years old. She just recently passed away, but she was living with this woman and her husband for probably 25 years or longer. So she really was family to them in every sense of the word. But so it is a variety of different scenarios. There's a lot of crying, there's a lot of laughing that goes on as well. In addition to that, we have a program called the Caregiver Scholarship Program that I also run. What that is a caregiver, and there's actually an eligibility criteria for who is considered a caregiver. It's anyone who is taking care of someone 60 years old or older. It's a caregiver who is taking care of someone with Alzheimer's disease, regardless of the age of the person. It can be a grandparent, 60 years old or older, who is taking care of a grandchild under the age of 18, which is very common today. And it's also caregivers age 60 or older caring for someone who is disabled, but not their own child. What they can do is, if they have a need for a multitude of things, it could be a piece of equipment, such as a lift chair or a specialized walker or a ramp. It could be for oil, it could be for supplies, it could be a multitude of things which we would talk about and decide what they needed. But what they can do is apply for a scholarship through me. I would speak with the person, find out about the situation that's going on in the home, ask a lot of questions. How long have you been caring for this person? What are the difficulties? What are they able to do on their own? What are they not able to do on their own? What do you feel is your greatest need right now? And after compiling all of that information, I can do an application for a scholarship for the caregiver. And specifically, the scholarship goes to the caregiver to help the caregiver take care of the elder or whoever the person may be, to help keep that elder living in the home longer and more safely. The application would go before a small committee, and they would make a decision whether or not they will grant the scholarship. The scholarships are small. They're generally for between $400 and $500, but the turnaround time on a scholarship application is very quick. It's generally just a few days to a week before a decision is made. When the decision is made, then I can put the scholarship in place for the person. In addition to that, a caregiver can apply for a scholarship more than once. As long as they wait a full year after they've received a scholarship, they can apply for another one, and another one, and another one, as long as they wait a year in between. And it doesn't have to be for the same thing they applied for in the past. I get many referrals from case managers that work at Montechusett. They're very familiar with their consumers that they take care of. They know what their issues are. Oftentimes, a case manager will refer a caregiver to me and say, I really think this person needs a scholarship. Can you speak with them? Which is wonderful because they know what's going on. But a caregiver does not have to be someone who's taking care of someone who's a Montechusett client. It can be, excuse me, anyone in the community who's living within the 21 towns that we service throughout North Central Massachusetts. And that is pretty much it on the caregiver scholarship program. So other than that, do you have any questions?
When was the meetings again?
The meetings, they're the third Thursday of every month.
Yep.
I have the information right here also, and it's always between 10 and 11:30.
Okay. So my name is Liza, and I run the money management program at Montechusett Home Care. Money management is designed for seniors and disabled adults who need help budgeting, paying their bills, writing checks, organizing mail, things of that nature, so in order to stay independent and living at home. We have two programs for money management. One is Bill Payer, which is serviced by volunteers who are trained and insured and vetted, and they work with our clients and go into people's homes and sit with them and organize mail and write checks and make sure the bills are paid on time, and sometimes do some budgeting work with the clients as well in their homes. We also have another program which is called Representative Payee, and in that case, our agency gets the Social Security check, and our agency pays all the individuals' bills with that benefit. So we are assigned by Social Security to be the representative payee, and usually a physician will say that the client is no longer able to take care of their own financial affairs, and they're not expected to, in the near term. So then the agency will take over the financial, the actual paying of the bills. So the bill paying service is one of the volunteer programs that we offer. We are always looking for volunteers. So we have clients in Templeton that we service, and we'd love to have some volunteers from Templeton. So if you or someone you know is good at paying bills and good with money and organizing papers, and you like that kind of thing, there's definitely people that need that kind of help. And our volunteers usually spend about 90 minutes with the client once or twice a month, and just make sure that the bills get paid. And, you write the checks to have the client sign them, and it's a really rewarding volunteer position. People feel stressed usually when their bills are coming up, and you sit there and you work with somebody and they're just really grateful, very appreciative to have someone help them get through it all, especially if you have a hard time reading or writing. A lot of our clients are capable of making their own decisions. They just can't do the act of writing the checks and getting through the mail, and having a friendly person who comes once a month to help facilitate that is all they need, really, in order to live independently. So it can be a really wonderful volunteer opportunity. We also have other volunteer positions at Montechusett with medical escorts and shopping and companions, that we have those volunteer programs, and we are also always recruiting for those volunteer positions. So I just want to make you aware of that. And I think that's pretty much it. So that's money management in a nutshell. Yeah.
If someone needs help with this money management program, how do we get them involved or involved?
Yeah, well, you can call our agency. I have some information about it, and my card's here. So, yep, we always are,
Do they have to have any other services?
No. We get funding from the state. We get funding from councils on aging, and, variety of different ways. And so you do not have to be a Montechusett home care client. It helps. We really like it, because then we are able to interface with another professional in our agency, and it serves the client better. But we will take clients with money management exclusively. Yep.
With all your programs, I've heard Medicaid or Mass Health mentioned a lot. Do all people have to be Mass Health eligible, or no? Just some specific services?
Actually, most of Montechusett Home Care does not require that you have Mass Health. We actually, 3 programs do. The adult family care, which is my baby, and the group adult foster care program, which was the one where you live in housing but you need daily personal care, and then the other one called personal care attendant program, which is the one I referenced where you hire your own workers. Everything else does not require that. The biggest program at Montechusett Home Care is what is called state home care. That's the program where you live in your own setting, whatever it may be, and there's 3 basic criteria: age 60, level of need, which means that the person needs help in 6 different areas. But it's not that hard to get there because they break out housework, they break out cooking, they break out laundry, they break out shopping, thank you. And that's just those that whether or not you can take medicine, whether or not you can get out on your own without assistance, and then things like bathing, dressing. So getting to 6 isn't that hard. Once you've reached that, then there is a sliding fee scale. Insurance does not cover our services, like Medicare does not cover the services, but there's a sliding fee scale. So I admit I'm not up on the exact figures, but our information referral department would be. But the monthly fee can be as low as like $8 a month if your income's low, and it might go up to like $120 if your income's higher. No matter what your copay is, you're going to get a break because the homemakers are costing Montechusett probably $20 to $25 an hour. So it's almost impossible not to be getting a bargain. So I'm so glad you asked that question. Any other? All right, then I think we're all set for our formal presentation, but more than happy to have people ask questions individually if you don't want to do it in the whole group. And thank you very much for your wonderful attention.
Yeah, thanks for inviting us.